early here in Jaipur, and I've been up all night because of some situation in the family. So forgive me my unkept appearance. So we are talking. I've been asked to speak about the Hindu survival in hostile circumstances and hostile nations. And incidentally, I that's my core area of competence. I've been working with Pakistani Hindus and Sardars for the past 10 years. And before going to that topic, there are some generic points I would like to touch upon, which the previous speakers have touched upon, in the general narrative around the Hindu the clash of civilization of Sanatan Dharma with other Abrahamic faiths, and the onslaught of the leftist whole ecosystem on the values of Sanatan Dharma. I do not understand this whole idea of universality and universe के लिए हमने ठेका ले रखा है यूनिवर्स का. हमारी अपनी बच्चियों की इज्जतें लुट रही हैं. Our girls are being raped, being picked up with impunity by jihadis, and here we are talking about universal peace. I somehow do not understand. It is like uh, a spoiled son in the family, or like a son in the family who's weak and who's not able to earn, and he says, I'm going to be with the family, and I'm going to I'm going to take care of everybody, and I'll make money. And well, nobody cares unless you actually start making money and you start contributing to the family. So all talk of universality and all talk of world peace will really look good coming from our mouths if we are speaking from a position of strength. And right now, we are not speaking from any position of strength. We are very weak. We are facing total annihilation by the Abrahamic faiths and the in cahoots with the leftist ideology. और हमें सोचना पड़ेगा कि हमारी से बस what is the reason why is this happening? It is happening because we are 100 crore huge mass of human beings without leadership. We do not have any credible leadership. What are leaders? As a ragtag coalition of social service and NGO type uh, people who are going to assist people when there are floods and there are cyclones. But we do not even have a full narrative to the whole uh, conflict. That is what is in our Shastras known as Shatru Bodh, enemy consciousness, which is exactly what Sri Krishna was trying to do in the Bhagavad Gita, because this universal thing was always what Arjuna was touting, and Sri Krishna decimated it right there. And he said that do your karma and do it to your utmost, and then we will talk about the universal good. Same is the situation of Hindus today. So without leadership, I don't think we are going to make much headway. So uh, the current leadership is lost, is very myopic, and is capitulating to the jihadi um, blackmail for no reason. There is no reason for the Hindu leadership to capitulate, but it is. So then we hear statements like the same DNA, and that Britishers were responsible for the Hindu-Muslim conflict in the subcontinent. I think one of the most absurd and most illogical comment I've ever heard from any human being. Because if Britishers were the reason for Hindu-Muslim conflict, I happen to be writing a book on Mewar Maharanas. What were these glorious Maharanas fighting for 1,000 years before Britishers came? From 8th century, with the attack of attack on Raja Dahir by Muhammad bin Qasim, and he was defeated by Maharana Bappa Rawal of Chittorgarh, to Maharana Raj Singh, who defeated Aurangzeb in 1680, in the 17th century. For 1,000 years, were Britishers making us fight Islamic invaders? Was Maharana Pratap a British agent? Was Maharana Sangha a British stooge? We cannot have such ideas being floated into an already confused mass of Hindus who are charmed ceaselessly and endlessly by Bollywood, cricket, and theme parties and foreign vacations. As it is, we are so atomized. As it is, we have no enemy consciousness. And on top of that, these statements don't help. They take away all the all the courage and the intellect that with which we have to fight this war. So the leadership has to uh, reinvent its own ideology, reach out to the cadre. I've worked with people on the ground, and some brilliant people working on the ground. They have created such institutions, and I can say very proudly that without the blessings and the support of these brilliant Hindu people on the ground, I would have been able to achieve nothing at Nimittekam, which is our organization for Pakistani Hindus. So this is one aspect which I wanted to touch upon, that we are not responsible for universal brotherhood. It is a contract which is two-way. We cannot be carrying the mantle of union on our shoulders. We will try to, am I audible? So the second thing is that without leadership, we will not be able to achieve much. So as long as this current leadership is lost, I think we need to be, the middle class of Hindus has to rise up. We have to uh, be the leaders in our own sense. And I'm coming from a very humble background. I am not a very rich man. I was a simple ENT surgeon practicing in Rajasthan. But we tried to create something at Nimittekam. And very humbly, I can submit that we took out 10,000 Hindus out of Pakistan in the past 7 years. And we also managed to get 3,500 citizenships by even without the CAA law, but Shri Modi ji and Shri Amit Shah had brought so compassionately. Uh, Now, touching on the Pakistani Hindu issue, the European Union Parliament report in May 2019 says that 1,000 Hindu girls are picked every year. That means 3 Hindu girls are picked every single day in Pakistan. Just before me, the Bengali Hindu friend was speaking about 2,300 girls being picked every year. I do not understand how can the Hindu leadership sleep on this ghastly fact. हमको इन बच्चियों का श्राप नहीं लगेगा? हम तो वो सभ्यता हैं जो कुंवारी कन्या के पैर छूते हैं, कुंवारी कन्या को भोजन करवाते हैं अष्टमी के दिन, और उस बच्ची का शीलभंग पूरा का पूरा गांव कर रहा है, और हम बैठे बैठे यहाँ पर प्लेटिट्यूड सर्व कर रहे हैं. Will the curse of these girls not fall upon the Hindu society? Can we actually sleep, eat, drink, and make merry while this debauchery is happening right in front of our eyes? That is a question we must ask ourselves before going back to sleep. And this is only one aspect. This is one aspect which the European Union Parliament covered. I live with these Hindus. They tell us such ghastly stories about what they faced. They cannot be, Hindu names in Pakistan. They have to have an alternative name, Islamic name. So Ramesh will have a Muslim Russian name, or Sanjay will be Salim, so that his business is not taken away, his daughter is not taken away, and all kind of atrocities. And the percentage of population, which was approximately 15% at the time of partition of Bharatvarsha, has been reduced to 2% in Pakistan today, whereas correspondingly the Muslim population has grown from 8 to 16% in Bharatvarsha. So we are under attack. Our demographic change is upon us, and the biggest onslaught of this attack is faced by Hindus who are the minority in Bangladesh and Pakistan and Sri Lanka. I personally know Sri Sachidanandaji of Sri Lanka, old man, gentleman, struggling so hard to keep Hindu fight somehow on in a reasonably friendly country like Sri Lanka, where we have a sister faith tormenting us because we are not strong. In Rajasthan, we have a saying, "Garib ki joru sabki bhabi." तो हिंदूज तो गरीब की भाभी हैं, गरीब की जोर हुए सबकी भाभी है. So unless we talk of peace, talk of world peace and universal brotherhood from a position of strength, nobody's going to give any heed to us. We will continue dying. We will be continue to be raped, and we will be shrinking in our physical, in our mental, in our emotional, in our psychological, and in our spiritual space. And that is what has been happening for the past 70 years on an alarming pace. We have been fighting Islamic invasions for the past 1400 years, and our glorious Maharanas, they were great people. They were great people who kept fighting and did not relent. They saved us from conversion to Islam by their sheer muscular grit and determination for the saving of Dharma. And we are failing today. We, the heirs of Pratap and Sangha, are unable to resist this onslaught today with all the resources at our disposal, with this internet, with when communication and transfer of information is so easily happening. So that is something we need to ponder upon, look back upon our history with pride. That is why my book will be, I'm really hoping that people read this book, Maharana's A Thousand Year War for Dharma. It will be Hindi and English. And for few hours, as long as you have this book, just feel the pain and the suffering that these great souls, these great Atmas endured, just for the sake of being Hindus. They did not relent. 40-40, 50-50 साल अपने जीवन के इन लोगों ने अरावली की अनफॉरगिविंग मॉनसून्स, गर्मियों सर्दियों में बिता दिए, लेकिन इन्होंने समर्पण नहीं किया. और 1000 years की इस पूरी सागा में एक मेवाड़ का राजा ऐसा नहीं मिलता जिसने ये कल्पना भी की हो कि वो जाकर मुसलमानों से संधि कर ले. अगर हम fall back upon this determination of the Mewar Maharanas. The book is called Maharanas, A Thousand Year War for Dharma. It will be out on Deepavali. I'm writing it. I finished writing it actually. It's just being edited. The final touches are being done. The last thing that I want to talk about is the solution. What can an average Hindu do? See, what we have been consistently failed to notice is the power of centralized money. Now, it's zakat. Christianity has tithe. What do we have? We have nothing. So all our warriors, be it Agniveer, be it Aarti Agarwal in Hindu genocide documentation, be it Pushpendra Kulshesh, be Sanjay Dikshit, we are all alone. There is no central corpus funding us, protecting us from legal battles, or giving seed money to enlarge our scope in the area of our work. So what I propose here, and what we've already formed with Swanandaji and my brother Jay Ahuja at Nimittekam, is that we have formed this non-profit company called Dharmansh Foundation. The target is to collect 100 crore rupees in a month. So 1 crore Hindus out of the 100 crore Hindus on this globe, if they give us 100 rupees a month, we will have 100 crore rupees a month, and we will be funding fight against conversions, love jihad, fight against land jihad. We will have funds against the legal battles. We will be able to give some money to Hindus killed in riots and by extremists. I have a document right now with me in which I calculated, I made somebody, I paid him money, and a journalist, and I asked the journalist to sit down and document that ever since Modi ji became the Prime Minister on 16th May 2014, 200 Hindus have been lynched in Bharatvarsha by Islamic extremists with the FIRs, the news clippings, the name of the victims, and the name of the. I have that document with me. I challenge anybody to to question the integrity and the authenticity of that document. And that document is minus the Bengal figures. I'm talking about murders in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, UP, Rajasthan, and all these in the rest of the country. Some few dozen from Bengal. So that is the situation, that we need to fund our own people. As Napoleon used to say, no army walks on its feet, every army walks on its stomach. So अगर पेट भरा हुआ है भैया, तो आपकी आर्मी लड़ाई लड़ लेगी. अगर पेट ही भरा नहीं है, पेट ही खाली है, all soldier has to keep looking back. Who's going to take care of my mother? Who's going to take care of my family? Who's going to take care of my wife? Then he's not going to be in this whole thing. He's not going to be in the fight. And that is the curse, and that is the biggest limitation of Hindu workers today, which I have seen. And with a very limited funding, with a very limited Dharmansh Foundation that I was able to get for Nimittekam, I've seen the miracle of collective money. We collected about close to 1 lakh rupees a month through Dharmansh from various Hindus. And we were able to save 10,000 Hindus out of Pakistan. Imagine what we can do if we get 100 crore rupees a month. We can take out all these 1 crore Hindus out of Pakistan just like that, because money is everything. We need infrastructure, we need people to man, we need people to apply for the visas, we need people to apply for the citizenships. So that's the whole thing about money. Without money, nothing is going to happen. Yesterday itself, I was talking to a nurse in my hospital, and I was shocked when she told me that she makes 20,000 rupees a month. She gives 2,000 rupees to the church. What do we give to the local Hindus fighting? Our money, which we used to give to the temple, has been hoodwinked by the previous Congress government. The laws are such that I think it's impossible to get our temples freed. So temple money is gone. Our dharmacharyas, our mathadishas are stuporous. They are in coma, or they are crooks. Let me tell this very clearly, because nobody talks about the genocide of Hindus in Bangladesh and Pakistan. I personally went to a dozen ashrams. I begged in front of them that please give your mic, please give your podium to these unfortunate, unforsaken people. Nobody bothered. So our dharmacharyas, our mathadishas, that money is also gone. What are we left with? We are left with, as I said, ragtag middle class Hindus like us. So that's why, with the blessings of Swami Vijnananandaji, may Bhagwan Shri Hari give him a long life. Swamiji has been blessing us throughout our journey, and now we are well on our way to start collecting funds for Dharmansh Foundation. I will be sharing the account details and all. And then we can carry on this forward. If we get 100 crore rupees a month funding, then we are in the game. Right now, we are not even in the game, because our leadership is lost. They talk platitudes. They have not done their Purva Paksha. So brilliant people are just fighting out on their own resources, their meager resources. They are destroying their family lives. But this cannot go on perpetually, because we are up against a very well-oiled, well-funded mafia and a killing machine. We cannot sustain this war like this. We need the Dharmansh Foundation to take off. I think I have touched mostly whatever I wanted to say. Thank you very much for the organizers for organizing this brilliant gathering of Hindu speakers. Keep up the fight. We are all together in this. As Mewar Maharanas would give the war cry, Har Har Mahadev.